So with the popularity of events like Drag Week in the USA and Drag Challenge here in Australia, where you take street registered vehicles and you drive them over vast distances for multiple days, hopping from one racetrack to the next, features like cruise control in your aftermarket ECU are becoming more and more of a must-have item. So what we're going to do in this video is show you how to set up and calibrate cruise control for a Haltech Elite Series ECU. The first thing you need to know is for cruise control functions to work properly, there's quite a few safety measures that need to be met for the ECU to work. So your engine must be using an electronic drive-by-wire throttle. You must have a vehicle's speed sensor of some sort coming into the ECU, either a drivetrain sensor from the transmission directly or a wheel speed sensor. You must also have a brake pedal switch coming into the ECU. Your vehicle must have either gear detection set up or a neutral switch wired in. And if you have a manual transmission, you must also have a clutch switch wired into the ECU. If you've got an automatic transmission, you must have a gear selector position input enabled. So as you can tell, there's quite a few must-haves before cruise control can be set up. Now don't worry if you can't remember all of these things from the outset though. One handy feature of our ESP software is the software won't allow you to set up a function to completion if all the conditions for that function can't be met. So for example, if you attempt to set up cruise control but forget to set up the brake pedal switch input, you'll get a red error message with a message as to why the function can't be enabled. Now with all the background setup done, let's get on to actually setting up the cruise control functionality. Navigate your way to the main setup page and search for cruise control. The first thing you notice is there's three possible connections that can be made. The input selection, this is how the ECU is going to be told when to turn the cruise control on and off and when to accelerate or slow down, etc. And two outputs. These two outputs are used to indicate that cruise control is active and whether the cruise control is actually controlling the vehicle or not. Let's take a look at the input connection first. We have two options, a CAN input or analog. We'll tackle the CAN input first. If you had, say, for example, one of our Ford Falcon Elite plug-in ECUs, the cruise control request information is transmitted to the ECU not through a simple voltage input, but rather by discrete messages on the vehicle's onboard communication system known as the CAN bus. This data stream is specific to each vehicle, so if you plan on using the vehicle's CAN input for cruise control request, then you need to first set up one of the ECU CAN bus systems to read your specific vehicle's CAN bus. To do this, click on the Devices tab in the Vehicle Bus drop-down and select your vehicle's CAN bus system. And if it's supported, you're good to go. Now for the rest of us, where there's either no factory CAN bus because we've got, say, a 64 Nova Drag Week car, or simply Haltech doesn't yet support your vehicle's OEM CAN bus, then we need to graft in a control system that consists of a series of buttons that tells the ECU when to turn the cruise control on or off. By far the simplest way of doing this is to retrofit an OEM cruise control input to either the steering wheel or an indicator stalk like this one. Now the way these systems work is that each button on the stalk or steering wheel sends a different voltage level to the ECU. Then within the ECU, we program each voltage level with a cruise control function such as turn on or speed up, coast down, etc. Wiring up the cruise control input switch is typically just two wires, a signal ground and an input signal wire that goes to the assigned AVI input pin on the ECU. Now because there's no defined standard of how many features a cruise control system should have, you need to match the level of functionality that your cruise control system has with Haltech's cruise control function. So to make sense of this, let's go into the ESP software and look at the Buttons tab. Here you'll see that you can have a cruise control system with up to 6 different buttons. To calibrate which button does what and the voltage provided for each function, simply select the desired functionality of the button press from the drop-down menu, and because all systems have a rest position, that's always the first button, and you calibrate it by simply not touching anything and hitting calibrate. Next up, calibrate the Enable Disable button by pressing and holding down the Enable Disable button and pressing calibrate. Now continue on with this procedure for all the buttons that you have in your system. Select the function from the drop-down, hold that button down, press calibrate. There's also a voltage tolerance setting here which allows you to set the window in which the ECU will accept a voltage to be used as the trigger for a particular function. This allows for small voltage changes in the system from other electrical loads that may affect your cruise control input signal. Things like lights turning on, indicators, or just simply poor signal grounding. A long press is used when a single button has multiple uses. Say for example, this button here is the set button as well as the accelerate button. So when I set it up in the software, I call it the set accelerate plus button. A short button press activated the first function, which is the set speed, and a long button press activates the second button function, which in this case is accelerate. Again, one of the helpful things about ESP software is if you're not quite sure what a function or setting does, all you need to do is hover over the name of the setting, and when this little question mark comes up, click on it, and you'll get a help bubble with text description explaining what that setting does. With the wiring and main setup done, cruise control should now be active. Once you have the system wired in and running, there's often some tuning of the system that needs to be done, which kind of makes sense. A 200 horsepower engine is going to respond really differently to say a 2000 horsepower engine in the same vehicle. So to fine tune the cruise control, go over into the mapping tree on the left hand side of the software and you'll notice there's now a set of tunable maps specifically for cruise control. So these settings allow you to set the maximum control system error value and the maximum throttle ramp-in rate, as well as the mappable system proportional, integral, and derivative gains. And while we take a lot of time to set up and calibrate these PID settings in our base map, there's also so many factors that influence the behaviour of cruise control. Some applications do need these maps tweaked. So, a little advice on calibrating the PID settings. Broadly speaking, increasing the proportional gain will direct the control system to get to your target speed quicker. Increasing the derivative gain will speed up the rate of change of the control system, and increasing the integral gain will force the system to reduce the steady state error. So, you'll notice if you look at the base map, the settings for the proportional, the integral, and the derivative gains, the x-axis is actually based on the cruise control speed error. So, as the vehicle approaches the target speed, the system effectively pays less attention to the proportional and the derivative. Those are the two parameters that control how quickly and aggressively we try to hit your target speed, and more emphasis is placed on the integral gain, which controls the steady state error of the system. Well, that's basically it. The basics of how to wire in, set up, and calibrate cruise control on your Elite Series ECU. I'm Matt from Haltech. I'll see you next time.